On to what Sean originally asked me about, this moment with Dana White. I really appreciated the reception from the boxing world, but I was a little embarrassed because it's like I didn't actually accomplish anything yet. Like we don't, for all I know, they could still implement these bad business practices that have had them sued in MMA, and so I haven't really done anything, and I listen to my critics more than I listen to the praise because I want to be sharp. And I hear them when they go, well, where was all this with the previous administration, let's call it, Heyman and Arum and Hearn and all that. So, I hear them, but the thing is, those guys have been criticized. Al Heyman was put in court by Golden Boy and Top Rank. And this time around, when forces entered the sport trying to do what he did, they all jumped ship. They all sold out to him, and now it's costing them their long-term goals because they sold out for short-term gain. So nobody's speaking up against these people, and that's why I did it. I guess that's supposed to be my job. But at the same time, after I got that chip on my shoulder, because I've been talking about it on this show for months, I was saying part of why I couldn't join all of you and be so excited. It took me until Friday night to really be excited for Canelo-Crawford because I felt the fight, as great as it is a foreground. The real story is Saudi government partnering with Dana White, Ari Emanuel, TKO, to eventually try to assume control of the sport and change U.S. law, named after Muhammad Ali. I'm sorry, that's what I thought the story was. And between me and another journalist out here, Vegas PBS, Amber Dixon, our interviews with Dana about that subject actually outperformed the fight itself. And that shows you it was the story. And once we got it out the way, it was like, all right, let's get to this fight. I remember once Terrence and Canelo got off the scales, I said, we don't have a cash grab. We got to fight. These guys, they're in great shape. It matters to them. And Crawford performed masterfully last night. He put on a performance that young fighters will be studying for many years to come. But back to TKO and everything, I made the metaphor, it'd be like if you're getting ready to marry my daughter. And it's like, look, young man, let me speak to you for a moment. I've heard stories that you have these other girlfriends, and this is what I've heard you've done with them. Are you going to try to do that to my child? Or if I'm the media supposed to guard the door, hold on, before you walk in and say, let me pat you down. You got this on you, or you got, And what I realized was it's not my job to try to stop them or anything because the energy they brought at the weigh-in, now I got to admit, fight night was a little underwhelming. Energy, atmosphere-wise. Crawford, there was a lot of fans that showed up for Canelo, and he sucked some of the wind out of the room. They didn't show up to see that. But even before the fight started, there was a little dead in there compared to what I thought I was going to get based on the amazing energy on Friday. But the point is, the TKO with all their resources and everything, getting this fight on Netflix, this was a mainstream fight. It got into the sports world, and boxing needs that. So can't we merge... So if boxing the last 10, 20 years represented one evil, I think their model represents the opposite one. Can we find something in the middle? And there's still something so valuable about boxing that all of you support when it doesn't have a media machine behind it. It's not pushed everywhere. You don't see it everywhere. And yet somehow, like I asked Dana, over the last 10 years, the top 5 and really top 7 out of 8 gates in combat sports history are in boxing, and they come in the last 10 years. I'm not going to the glory days of Sugar Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson, and I'm talking about the last 10 years. So even though their structure is great, somehow, some way, boxing with no promotion, a zombie shooting itself in the foot, can't get out of its own way, finds a way to outperform at the highest level MMA with all its push. And that shows you the intrinsic value that this sport has. So
without a knockout last night, I think,
yeah, that deserves some applause. Yeah.
So I just want them, if they're going to enter this, there's got to be a middle ground. Boxing could use the infrastructure and the media machine and the consistency that TKO has with UFC. But boxing's not a 3-letter conglomerate. Respect to the great Max Kellerman, but I push back on that a little bit. It's not the NBA, NFL, UFC, MLB. These are 3-letter, very tightly constricted corporate. Boxing's the Wild West. That's part of its allure, and it brings in people from all walks of life. It's so real, so many different cultures at once, and we got to keep it that way. But we could use these people's resources.